Right, we're back with part 2. So don't forget, if you're enjoying this, to like and subscribe on YouTube. That does really help. And if you're feeling particularly brave, leave a comment below. Cheers. Thanks.
Okay. So when we left off, the five of you were going to a couple areas. We had Wallace and Timothy heading over to the knick-knack store. We had Reg heading into the bar, and Jack and Mary were just out on the streets taking a variety of photographs of the lovely town of Abattoir. So we're going to go ahead and roll in with Timothy and Wallace entering into the Thunderbird gift store. So upon approach, you see that this is a simple wooden structure. Has a look that suggests, it's an old Western store. Wallace, once again, you've seen these. These stores are a dime a dozen down any major Texas highway, complete with all of the tropes. False front, a wooden porch, and a hitching post. You can tell that the sign above the door is elaborately painted sign that shows a group of native men looking off into the distance with a solemn, almost sad expression. Behind them is a stylized bird with storm clouds behind it. The name of the shop, Thunderbird Gifts, is painted in large, old-fashioned type. The door's window is covered with flyers that date back many years, as well as a sign mentioning a going out of business sale that looks to be at least 10 years old. The only thing new on the front door is a flyer that you see. The flyer itself is regarding a family. The Millers have been missing for 3 weeks. There's a picture of the husband, Henry, a picture of wife, Kelly, their daughter, Rebecca, and their son, James. You notice in there that the last place they were seen was the campgrounds that you just left. Big Bend National Park.
Okay.
Right.
I'll kind of nudge Tim. My money says it's still open. They never went out of business. This is classic Texas.
Is
You
it?
guys do this in England?
I know a leather shop that has been going out of business for the past 10 years. So yeah, I think they do it in England.
See, the world's a small place. Watch this, and I'll walk up onto the false porch,
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go and I'll grab the handle of the door, and I'll go to pull it open. And I'm assuming it's going to open, like
Right. Yes. So it does. The door opens, and you're hit with a powerful scent of sage that you can even kind of just almost smell before even opening the door.
Okay.
And as you open it, a small cloud of smoke kind of wafts out in your face and out behind you, hitting Timothy with the overwhelming scent also.
Well, I fancy pork now.
See, I told you they were still open.
All right, I'll come up. I'll take the door from Wallace once he's got in and go through, follow him through.
Okay. So
well, howdy there, man.
You're greeted with a scene of organized chaos. Several cluttered displays containing pipes, pouches, knickknacks, various bits of jewelry, silver, turquoise, and beads dominate the center of this shop. You can see racks of clothing made from buckskin lining the walls. From the center and mounted on the walls are bows, arrows, stone war clubs, jawbone hatchets, and so on. Other shelves are filled with dusty pottery, woven baskets, and some other tacky souvenirs that look like they date back to the 1930s. An Apache-style blanket hangs behind the counter, separating the room. There's a low-padded chair right behind the counter, and you can see who must be the owner sitting behind there. And I'm going to go ahead and show it to you here. Oops, not there. Here we go. Oh, dang dang it. So, hold on. I forgot Roll20 does not allow you to share the portraits when they're popped out. Just a minute here.
Handout 743.
Yep. There you go. So there's a picture of the owner. And go. Shoot. Where did it go? It disappeared. Hold on.
What disappeared?
My information. Huh. That's odd. Roll20's giving me a little bit of crap here. Here we go. Okay. My mistake. There we go. So, so you can see as you both walked in, dark eyes are peering. Hey, dark eyes are peering through the transparent counter. He stands up slowly as you walk in. He flips the switch on the side of his cash register, and then the electric register starts humming to life. And he's just waiting there silently. He looks to be, of undetermined age, but he's older. Leathery skin, shrunken frame. He could be anywhere from 60 to 100 years old. And he just patiently waiting and watching.
Hello there, sir.
Hello?
I start looking around for a shot glass through the chaotic sprawl of his wares.
Yeah, do you have any? Do you sell shotguns?
No,
glasses?
shot glass, not gun.
They sell both, to be fair.
And he goes, yeah, the turnaround rack over there in the corner near the door. There's probably a couple on there.
Oh, right here. It's on a postcard rack.
Well,
Is there postcards?
There's plenty of postcards in here. They look very dated though. Like they show a depiction of the town of Abattoir in its glory days.
Well, I'll pick one up for Mary so she can add it to her scrapbook.
So, and he mumbles something to himself and he goes, "Is that it?"
I'm gonna like the little rack. I'm gonna turn it and I'm gonna like look at a couple of shot glasses. So I'm gonna pick like the perfect glass for my sister.
Okay.
I kind of envision it having like that classic Indian themed Thunderbird, kind of in this teal green paint.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So our first roll of the game is going to be a luck roll to see if you find the perfect shot glass.
All right. Right on. All right, there's my luck. I gotta get used to this character sheet. All right.
Okay.
Well, that's a big fat no.
So the selection is limited. Most of them do have the rather overdone image of a Thunderbird on them. There's a couple shot glasses that seem to depict other cities in Texas. Some some that you've never heard of before. But nothing seems to strike you as something that would be perfect for your sister.
Well, I'll settle for the one that just says Abattoir, like the really shoddy paint job. Might have a little chip, and it's like the last one in the display for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to settle for it, unfortunately.
I'm actually looking around for like dream catchers. I bet there's like a whole bunch of dream catchers.
Okay. There are. It will take you a moment to kind of sift through the chaos. Just everything is everywhere. But that's not going to require a luck roll because you will eventually come upon a small selection of dream catchers and whatnot. And mind you, while you're doing this, he's just sitting there silently, just kind of, almost not really watching you, but almost glaring at you.
Oh, I'm going to strike up a conversation while I'm looking. I'm going to be like, so how long have you been open for? What was your name, sir, again?
Never told you my name, but you can call me John.
Oh, I'm Tim.
All right.
How long have you been open for, Tim? John?
It's been some time. A few years here or there. So you, is that all you're gonna get? Is that Dreamcatcher? And he pushes a button on the cash register, and you kind of hear like a jingling come from it.
I might get Reg a pipe so he can smoke his weed from a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
He can feel like proper native, like American with that. So yeah, I'll pick up a pipe as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see a it's not what we would think it. It's generally the Indian style long pipe with feathers tied to it.
That's what I hope to get.
But it's serviceable. He pulls the pipe out from behind the glass counter and sets it on top, and he goes, "So, is that it? Anything else?"
No, that's it.
Nope.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So, and then he goes, "What about your friend? Did he find what he needed?"
Oh, I got what I need. I'll pay for mine separately.
Okay.
So yes, I've got a postcard. I've got this dream catcher thingy, and I've got this pipe.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So he starts tacking away on the register and gives you your total, which doesn't come to a lot. And he pulls out a couple paper bags that has the logo on there with the name, puts it in there, hands it to you, and he goes, as he does, he goes, "Well, thank you for coming. I assume you'll be on your way." And he kind of takes a little pause. He goes, "You are just passing through, right?"
Yeah, our van's got a puncture, so it's at the gas station being the wheels being replaced. Well, either replaced or fixed. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, that's we're only stopping. We only came here to get some gas mainly. But with a flat tire, we headed to the pub or inn, tavern, whatever it's called here, the saloon. I'll speak like I'll pretend like I'm a cowboy and say, yeah, we're gonna go to the saloon.
Right. Well, yeah. Have yourself a nice day. He seems very just indisposed. Like you're interrupting something important. I mean, it's obvious that he barely wants to give you the time of day, but he goes,
"Yeah, but I'm
thank
deliberately
you.
making him give me the time of day." You see.
And even before you make it out the door, once you're done with your purchase, you hear the cash register humming die as he's already turned it off before you've gone out.
Got to save that power.
Yeah. Wow.
You feel just like, almost like you just unwanted. You were.
That's all right. I'm English. We're used to this sort of shit. Have you ever been to shop in England?
Yeah, because we're definitely not local.
As Tim and I walk back outside, Wallace is just going to be, that's not indicative of Southern hospitality, I promise you. What we saw out in, out at Big Ben, that was more indicative of Southern hospitality. That, I don't know what the hell that was. That guy, and I kind of like look over my shoulder, make sure the door's closed. That guy was just a prick. Don't go back to England with thinking that we're all like that.
I'm going to say it's fine. It's very quaint.
Yeah. Okay. Let's.
So Wallace,
let's go to the bar. Yeah.
Wallace, as you're heading out, you know, and you're kind of, I assume, are you whispering this to James because you don't want?
Yeah, real low. Yeah.
Give me a both you and Timothy. Give me a spot hidden roll.
I gotta find it on my sheet now. There it is.
I found that roll.
Okay.
God, the die roller hates us.
Okay. So yeah, so you make your back out front. Reg has already, you know, made his way into the bar. Mary and Jack, you know, you can kind of still see Mary as she's, you know, almost, you know, just taking picture after picture. So the next thing I'm gonna move to is Reg going in there because he will have been in there for a bit before you make your way to the restaurant itself. So, Reg, you're standing in front of this what looks like an old Western saloon.
Has it got the doors like?
Yes, it's a complete with a wooden false front, a wide boardwalk flanking the dusty street, hitching posts, and even a water trowel out in front.
What's a wooden false front? What does that mean? What I don't actually understand that term.
It's designed to look like the front of a you know, of an old Western know, building.
Oh, so
but the back is, yeah.
All right, cool.
So,
okay.
So there's a cigar-holding wooden Indian next to a pair of double doors in the center of the front wall. You can see outside several large windows are covered with signs and notices, which look like they date back decades, and the doors are currently swing open. Likewise, you see with the recently is both Wallace and Timothy saw is a flyer showing the missing family. Looks like everything else looks dated and old and weather worn. This like it was posted today or yesterday.
So am I to understand in America you pay at the end, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to abuse that. You go over to the saloon doors and kind of open them and go for your guns, and then walk inside.
Excellent. So as you do, you say that, and it's almost completely empty. But in the corner is a group of kind of like almost like blue collar workers. They're dressed in kind of, you know, a variety of overalls and work. What's the term for like the jumpsuit where they all just kind of work in the single jumpsuit that zippers up. But you can see inside that there's a long bar that runs along the left wall.
Overalls, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Overalls?
What?
Overalls?
Coveralls, yes, coveralls. So some are wearing overalls, some are wearing coveralls, and they're kind of hunched down the corner. One of them kind of looks up at you and just kind of looks at you for a second and then glances back down to the table and continuing the little minor discussion that's, you know, far enough away you can't hear. But you see that, you know, there's stools next to the bar, you know, a few tables and chairs haphazardly set about. On the far corner is a jukebox. The wall around it is covered with all sorts of manner of antique farm equipment that looks like it might date back to the early 1800s. Occasional black and white photos on the wall. You can tell that on the wall behind the bar is the classic mirror, you know, that runs the full length. Bottles of liquor lined in the front. The wall above the mirror is covered with license plates dating from all sorts of ages. You know, just nailed up there. Some are rusted, some are bent. In the center of the plate is mounted a large boar's head, its mouth wide open. So this is the full, you know, 10 yards of Western ambiance that you would see in any sort of roadside bar in Texas. But you also see this gentleman. That's right. I'm sorry, I have to go back here because they won't let me do it when it's popped out. But here we are. So you see this gentleman behind the bar. Go. So he kind of looks up at you and as you make your entrance and say your piece, he kind of chuckles to himself. And as he does, he kind of glances over to the group of men in the corner, and you can tell that he almost immediately stifles, just and then looks over with a concerned look and kind of looks back down for a second and then looks back up at you. And he goes, can I help you, son?
I'll go over and say, do you sell whiskey?
Says, well, of course we sell whiskey, sir. This is, Texas, ain't it? Whiskey, beer, whatever floats your boat.
Okay, give me a whiskey and a beer.
Okay. So he brings out a shot glass and pours you 2 fingers of whiskey, reaches down behind the bar and pulls out a can. It's about 12 ounces, not quite a pint. Pulls the pull tab off, puts it on the bar in front of you, and says, "So, anything else? Can I interest you in something to eat? I can give you the menu right here if you like."
What? 1 second, and I'll just leave the drinks. What year is it?
1975.
Okay, so it says I'm an AC/DC fan. They only formed in 1975.
Right. So yes, you this is the middle 1975. So you could say that you recently returned from your trip to Australia, where you felt weather hotter than what it was. Somehow you got to go see them. But yeah, after their unprecedented appearance in 1975, I believe their next stop was Europe. So we can roll with it, 75-ish, or we just change the timeline slightly. But yeah.
Okay, I'll go over to. I'm going to mosey over to the jukebox.
Okay.
What's on there?
Well, are you looking for something specific?
Something rock and roll, something Black Sabbath or Cream.
Give me,
Hendrix.
because most of the stuff that you see in there, being of a particular age, you may not heard of them, but it would be a lot of old country music from the 50s. But go ahead and give me a luck roll. We'll see if someone actually put in something recent that you're looking for.
1 sec.
Close.
Okay. So you see, you don't, as you're kind of looking through the selection, you don't see much. You don't recognize a lot of the different options on there. I mean, you do see something that may look like fun. Wallace and the Good Old Boys. But other than that, you're not recognizing any of these names.
That's what I'm named after.
Yeah.
True story.
Wallace and the Good Old Boys, man. Who are they?
All right. So as soon as you press play, and the record drops, it's a small little what's that? 25, 35. I forget what those are called.
33s.
33s.
45.
45. So
Single.
the 45 drops. You hear the scratching of the record, and then just you are hit with a variety of upbeat country music. And somebody, after a few minutes from the entry, the person who's singing just almost the best can be described as yodeling, as he's talking about how horrible life is. Has his wife and girlfriend has left him, and there's nothing left to do but sit around and drink beer and whiskey all day.
I'm going to walk away, put my fingers in my ears, and make a show to the workers. I go, whoo! No wonder his girlfriend left him. I head over to the bar.
All right, so here is I'm going to show you a picture of the group of the workers here, so you'll see what they look like, and then the group of them kind of look up at you, and close that. And there you go. So.
Oh God, they're all inbred. Oh.
So they they kind of look up at
Welcome
you.
to Texas.
And one of them continues to kind of like stare at you, while the other one's kind of closed back around the table. talking to themselves, and you're up at the bar, and the bartender goes, kind of leans in and says, "You might not want to antagonize them. They're just here enjoying themselves."
I'll lean and say, I paid for the song, mate.
And he kind of goes, "Well, I get that nothing wrong with the music, but I mean, people are particular around these parts at what they like to listen to, and the whole, and people don't really like their preferences made fun of. If you get my meaning." And as he's doing that, he's pouring another shot of whiskey and kind of slides it towards you.
Okay, I'll just look at him. I haven't took my sunglasses off yet.
Okay.
And I'll just take the whiskey and I'll knock it back. And I'll say, I'll point at it again. Sorry, just knock my USB then. I'll point at it again for him to fill it up.
Okay. So as soon as you point to it to fill it up, you feel behind you a presence as kind of a hand reaches next to you and kind of slams down on top of your shot glass, and you hear a kind of a gravelly voice goes, "I think this boy's had enough." And as you turn, this is who you see staring you down.
It's not going to be Boss Hog, is it?
There you go.
Oh, dear.
Yes. You see a face, a ragged scar that runs across almost his entire face and head. You notice that there's a glint of metal that almost looks like that's some sort of bolt screwed into the left side of his forehead. And these steely eyes, angry eyes, are just kind of staring you down. And he repeats himself and says, "Don't you think you've had enough?"
Sorry, and you are, sir? And I'll take my beer and have a swig of it.
All right. And he goes, "Well, my name's Seth.
Of course it is.
And you are, son?"
I'll say, Reg, mate. I'll raise me beer glass, a beer bottle, a can to him, and have a drink of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So he watches you, drink your beer. Hasn't even moved. He seems almost, just frozen, stoic. Kind of gives you a feeling like he does one of these. As you drop your beer can down, he looks down at your feet, looks up at you, looks down again, looks up again, and he kind of goes, So,
I'll turn to the barman and ignore him and say, is this gentleman like the local law enforcement?
And you can, as you turn, you can see that the bartender's, got a fearful look in his eyes. He goes, "No. Now, Seth, this, what Dr. Brenner says about you starting any sort of trouble around here." And Seth takes a look at him. He goes, "Doctor ain't here," and looks back at you and goes, "Yeah, you can say I'm local law enforcement. Have you broken any laws in my town?"
I laugh. Only been here 10 minutes, mate.
And he goes, "Well, in my opinion, that's probably 10 minutes too long."
Well, it's a good your opinion means nothing then, isn't it? I'll take another swig.
And you notice that he kind of reaches into, kind of behind him, just kind of slowly. His hand just kind of goes behind him as he just kind of, and he rests his hand there, just kind of like this, just right behind him, almost like he's either holding on to something or grabbing like the corner of his belt strap on his of his pants. And he
I'll take a little step backwards And I'll put my hand in my pocket because I've got a switchblade.
Okay. And he leans in farther, and you can kind of see his shirt, which is kind of half unbuttoned. You can see that he has tattoos running. You can kind of briefly see a bit of a tattoo. Words, you recognize them as letters, kind of running from one side to the other, just briefly seen in the opening of his unbuttoned shirt.
It's his ABC, so he knows what AM.
And he curls his lip, and he leans in and says, "I think your beer is done." And he kind
I'll take the
of
can.
and he kind of.
I think so, mate.
He reaches in with he makes a finger like this and kind of gives you a little push on the shoulder. He goes, "I said I think it's done." And in the corner, you hear chairs slide as the group of the other ones kind of slowly stand up. And he continues to just stare you down, and his lip starts to curl up, revealing what looks to be just rotting, unkempt teeth.
Okay, I'll look round with the beer in my hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I go, "Just having a joke, mate." I'll put the beer down. I'll take the dollar out of my pocket, put it down, and I'll walk out.
Okay. So let's see here. Where is that? There we go. No, not you. Whoa, geez, no, not that one. There we are. Okay. So as you put your beer down, you start to walk out. You feel a hand reach over and grab your shoulder, and he tries to spin you, and he goes, "Yeah, I think it's a little too late for." And before he completes his sentence, you hear a voice coming from behind the bar, almost like coming from like the kitchen, as a door opens, and you see a man who looks like this. And he goes, "Now, Seth, what did I tell you about frightening the people visiting our fair town? We don't get much traffic in here, and any sort of tourist arrows that we get is going to benefit everyone around here. So why don't you take your hand off that nice young gentleman, and you and the boys over there, go ahead and finish up what you're doing, and maybe take a little breather, walk out the door, go for a walk, and just kind of calm down a little bit. We know you have a bit of a condition, but you don't need to take it out on this kind looking young man here." And he looks at you and he gives you a little wink. And Seth kind of releases his arm from your shoulder, turns to this old gentleman, and he goes, "Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right." And he kind of nods to the group of the other guys at the table, who they all kind of almost get up in unison. And he walks past you and gives you one of these with his left shoulder, knocks you a little bit, turns to you, and just kind of goes, "You're lucky." And then
Here
goes
go,
out.
Seth. Get out of here.
And so the older gentleman makes his way over to you, and his hands are already outstretched. He's holding forth his right hand and goes, "Dr. Robert L. Brenner, young man, and your name is?"
Reg.
Reg. Let me apologize for his actions. Seth, as you can probably tell from his general appearance, has certain predilections, and the poor boy just suffers from a little bit of a condition, but nothing that I can't handle. So, I hope he didn't ruin your fun time you were having in here. This beautiful music that you picked from the jukebox, absolutely fantastic. And he kind of looks over at the bartender and goes, "Can we get a menu for this young man? He looks absolutely famished. And you know what? For the inconvenience," he leans in and goes, "Whatever you want on the menu, I'll take care of it."
What a genuinely nice guy.
Great. So we'll cut from that moment, and then this will be when Timothy and Wallace will be kind of coming in the bar. As you guys are heading down, you will see these group of this small group of men leaving, and you will obviously see Seth, because he's an iPhone, hard to miss, but they end up walking in the opposite direction from you, so they're walking away as you're heading towards the bar. But then I want to move on to Mary and Jack. So while you were outside taking pictures, what else were you doing besides that, if anything?
I'm taking notes. I'm basically about the look of the place.
Okay.
Just scribbling things in my notebook.
Okay. And Mary, are you just taking a variety of pictures? If you look on the map and if you're taking pictures of the buildings, just tell me which one it is, and I can give you just a brief description so you know what it is that you're looking at.
Yeah, I want a picture of the barber shop.
The barbershop. Excellent. Okay. So with Jack next to you, taking the notes, you come across just a classic red, white, and blue barber pole in front of the store, and in classic style, it's spinning, producing a slight streak as it's rotating around. You take a snapshot of the large plate glass window, which bears the name Tom's Barbershop in cracked white letters. Below the name are a half dozen public notices announcing a variety of events. Likewise, you also see the missing poster that everyone else has witnessed. And most of the other posters besides this one look severely out of date. Only other than the missing poster, another listing on there that looks relatively new are the days and times of services being held at a church called the Blood of Lamb Pentecostal Church. And you'll see a few other things notifying a 4th of July sale at Thunderbird Gifts, although there's no indication of year on there. But yeah, it's just this classic old bit of Americana, a little bit run down, but it would definitely make a beautiful picture towards your collection or your scrapbook that you are taking pictures for.
Yeah, I'm going to switch to the Polaroid to take a picture of the missing poster.
Okay. Excellent. So you will have a snapshot of that. And so Jack, while Mary is sitting there waving the Polaroid around to try to get it to process quicker, which is a wife's tale, but everyone does it. Anything else you're doing while she's taking pictures of the barbershop?
Let's say, did you want to find the church?
Oh, I bet that would look lovely in a picture.
Okay. All right. So so if you proceed on, you'll see that on the map here, the church is kind of, down the trail. You'll see a street called Church Street, and you're going to pass by a variety of the other buildings. But moving on to the church itself.
Yeah, I'll get some long shots on the way up.
Okay. So let me go ahead and I will provide you with a picture of that and give you the brief description. And
he's all professional. The super photographer.
There we go. And there's the Blood of Lamb Church. So as you're making your way down the road, you get a better view of the church. And as you approach, it looks like it was built sometime in the early to mid 1800s. It's sitting atop a low rise. This faded wooden country church has a single narrow steeple that reaches up into a cloudless sky. Its copper roof covered with a patina of green. A belfry shutters are closed, and it looks like it hasn't been open in a very long time. The front doors were once painted blue, but most of the paint has long since crumbled away, revealing a gray weathered pane beneath. A series of 4 tall windows line each part of the church. They're stained glass depicting unidentifiable martyrs being executed in a variety of gruesome ways. So typical Christian church in Texas. The front door steps are in disrepair, but still functional if one is careful. So, and there's your beautiful snapshot of the church.
It's just what I want. Looking like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Just about is.
No, we are in the middle of nowhere.
Do you want to go and have a look round, or do you want to go inside?
If we can get in, yeah.
Cool.
There'll be all kinds of interesting lighting coming through all the stained glass windows.
I bet.
That's assuming it has stained glass windows.
Oh, it does. Because we already... Oh.
Scott, you're muted.
There we go. So as you move through the 3-foot-high picket fence that's surrounding the church, you can kind of you see that to the left is an ancient cemetery with slate headstones and a single rustic mausoleum. And the low structure looks like it was probably built using local stones around here. But there's not much else. Other than so you're looking at around the church. As you get closer and look at the windows, you see that hanging over them, kind of above them, are what can be best described as primitive talismans. Almost like they're made from, tied with leather straps or a bit of some sort of fiber made from bones and sinew. And here is what they look like. Okay. Sorry.
My first thought is I need close-up photos of those.
Okay. And as you focus on it, this is the picture that if this would cooperate with me, what it hits. Come on. Roll 20, cooperate with me. There we go. Okay. And there you go. So you see there are also other ornaments made from feathers and skulls with blue symbols painted on the foreheads of each. These skulls seem to be from smaller mammals, but the one above the front door is some sort of bovine, maybe a buffalo or a large cattle or bull. And you can tell that as you're kind of maneuvering around the church, taking a look at all of these features, you do see the wooden sign that bears the name of the church itself. And below it, it says established 1965.
1965?
Wow, it looks older than that.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
Is there any significance of these things hanging up everywhere over the door and the windows? Can I make an occult roll, please? Okay. Can't hear you, Scott.
Sorry, it's my daughter is in the background, so I'm just saving a bit of information. So yes, So looking at this, you kind of determine that this, is done for protection. Most items such as these, are placed outside, in windows, doors, other areas that people want to protect from evil spirits or things as such. And then the